Hello YouTubers and welcome to the beginning of a new week. We have another Suit Monday to start off the week because remember, look good, feel good, roll good or enter any activity in the third. And today, as you can tell from the title, we're talking a little bit about December trials, and I can say that Stanhope and I have been invited to this year's December trials, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about the December trials themselves, but not in too much detail because it is in fact a closed trial, so I don't want to make anyone angry by telling a lot about it, but it's not that complicated, so should be okay. But now, as always, we've got to get into the club. We've got a very windy day, we've got a storm incoming, so we're going to see if we're on the air or on the water, but let's get to it. And as you can see, we're outside looking at the water, seeing how the weather is for another session, but the wind is picking up with, I think it's Storm Brendan coming in over the UK. We had big boats out this morning, small boats for trials on the erg, but it looks like the weather's just getting worse, so the water's going to get worse, so it looks like we might be erging today all day rather than just one session. But as always, after a session, we've got to fuel up because remember, food is fuel. And then we'll have a little bit of chat about December trials. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see, but it's very windy. So we're talking about December trials, what it entails, and obviously Stanhope and I have been invited, which is absolutely amazing. And the coaches spoke to the coaches and they thought we were performing at a standard where we should be invited. So we are invited. Thank you very much to the Yam Squad for all of the support. Absolutely amazing to be able to go to trials, and like I spoke about before, it's getting the opportunity to compare against the best. So we're going to see next, it's on Saturday this week, to see how we can compare. So the actual trial itself is a bit different to what they usually are. So November trial, a 5k head race essentially, and a 2k on the water. 2k on the erg, 5k on the water. And February trials is a 5k on the water, and then you have your side-by-side racing and time trials and whatnot later on in the year. But this one is a sort of another head racing type thing, but instead of a 5k or side-by-side racing, so it's a 2k spin, 2k one after the other type of race, which is really interesting, and it's a completely different type of event, workout, whatever you want to call it, than just doing one piece, because you finish the first 2k and you think, okay, that was pretty difficult, and then you spin and you're thinking, I'm going to smash this next 2k, and then you take the first 5-10 strokes for that second 2k and it's like, oh my goodness, this is going to be extremely difficult. And the reason for that is, so usually when you're moving, even at really high pressures, your body is moving lactic acid around, it's getting rid of it, or at least it's trying to get rid of it, and as soon as you stop and do that little bit of a spin, it's building up. Your body's not getting that opportunity to get rid of it as quickly. So then when you go again, when you go to that next 2k, the lactic acid is all just sitting in your muscles and it's just there, and it's just making it really difficult. So you almost get like a second wind once your body hopefully catches up with the lactic acid and getting rid of it and all that, so from the second piece. But that's the race itself, that is the trials itself. There's no other side-by-side racing, there's no other sort of pieces. That's all it is in December, and like I said, it's a closed trial, so it's invite only, and I don't want to annoy anyone, so and that means when we are at trials on Saturday, I won't be filming too much, similar to the testing that we did here at the club. One, so I'm not getting sort of distracted and put a camera here, put a camera there, but two, so I can keep the videos not annoying people. And obviously it's a closed trial as well, so not having cameras around and annoying other people as well and being a distraction to other people is just not fair on other people. So on Saturday it'll be an update kind of video, just talking about how it went and how I feel the race is the 2K spin 2K, but fingers crossed for that. And as always, I really appreciate the support up to now, and really looking forward to seeing what I can do this weekend with stand-up. We've done a couple of pieces so far where we're testing out that go, spin, go, and kind of learning about that, because like I said, it's not something we really do very often. Usually it's one piece and then you get plenty of rest, or it's one piece and you're done. So this one, it's not quite like that, and I guess that's why the coaches decided to do that. And it happens every year, but I guess that's, like I said, but I guess it is just another part of checking and testing people, a different way to test people to see how fit they actually are. But now the weather is not ideal, so it's time to go either in the 8 in the bigger boats or back on the erg. I think the water isn't too bad. It is bad, but not too bad for an 8. So I think what we're going to do is get an 8. Oh yeah. And we've made it into the crew room post-session in the 8. Getting blown around because it's really, really windy, and now we've got some fuel to fuel up, because remember, food is fuel. Oh yeah! And we've made it outside of the club post-fueling up, walking Yam in the frigid cold in the wind today. Hopefully, in fact, I think tomorrow it's supposed to get worse, but hopefully by the end of the week it does calm down a bit and it doesn't affect trials too much, because when the water is very bouncy and all over the shop, honestly there's a little bit of a disadvantage to myself, as my technique is still getting there, and it's more about who can row in the better conditions or the bad conditions, rather than who can generate the most speed, if that makes sense. But rowing is a rowing sport, obviously, so the conditions are part of said sport, and it is all about who can move the boat fastest in the conditions given on that day. So this week, preparing for the trials coming up this weekend, which, like I said, isn't the normal sort of either 5k time trial or 2k on the erg. So the pieces this week are just a little bit different and tailored to the pieces or the piece on Saturday. But like I also said, we've already done some leading up, and the week before a big event or a big trial there isn't really much time left to get, well, there definitely isn't much time to get any fitter, and there isn't much time to improve any sort of body adaptations. So it's all about getting the body a bit sharper rather than improving the fitness or anything like that. So the pieces kind of get shorter and we taper in, rather than focusing on maybe doing the same piece or something. If we wanted to do the same piece and prepare for that, that's a week or a couple of weeks ago, and that's what we've already done in the program anyway, and so we've got a little bit of prep there. But like I said, this week is more about making it a bit sharper, and we'll go through that as well as we go through the week and some preparation for December trials. And we've got a little bit of a chat to do with, can you be vegan and an athlete, or vegetarian and an athlete? Do you have to eat meat if you want to be an athlete? We're going to talk about that, and it was kind of inspired by the documentary Game Changers. And then I spoke with Austin from Training Tall on YouTube. Definitely check out his videos if you haven't already. And we've been discussing a little bit of video, so he sent me over some video to involve him in said discussion of being a vegan and being an athlete as well. So that's going to be really interesting. But that will be it for today's episode. Yam Squad, we're going to finish off the walk with Yam. And as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Oh yeah!